mafia voice, mafio voice. Good morning, good people. This is People's Rebuttal. It's your boy Von Solo on here with my main man Zach. Well, I ain't gonna say everything. Zach, my main, my main man Zach out here ride remote. They got me in the booth, man. How's everybody doing this morning? What's going on, Zach?
Nothing, man. Getting to work. Busy, busy, busy.
Yeah, busy. We gonna got a couple seconds for. Well, we ain't gonna wait, but we anticipate Mafia to come on. Got
So have
another
you?
good Friday.
Yeah, we have. Have you seen? Have you watched any of this stuff on them opening up the search warrant for Trump? They're
No,
gonna
I
have to
have not.
release stuff. So the judge basically yesterday said that they were gonna release the affidavit for the search on Trump's house. In other words, you're gonna figure on Mar-a-Lago. You're basically gonna find out what was the probable cause
For him
for them to
taking the
search.
stuff?
When you do a search warrant, you gotta figure out, what's the search warrant for.
Right.
And so now which usually doesn't happen.
And you
They
said they
normally
was gonna try to declassify what? The papers he took?
well, so that's the kind of the funny part right now. As president, he can declassify anything he wants.
Right.
So he's saying that everything he had, he declassified it.
Mm.
So if that's true, then you would have no legal right to search his house.
Ain't that a bitch?
Correct.
But why wouldn't they know that beforehand?
Say that again.
Why wouldn't they know that beforehand? Well, I mean, you would think that they would. You would think that they would do their research. Um, you know, they would do their research before they made any type of move that would have any type of blowback. You know.
Yeah, and one of the things, as it's kind of funny because we talked about conspiracy theories and how sometimes conspiracy theories come true.
Uh huh.
We now know that they were actually months and months and months ago in negotiations, finding out what papers that he had.
Uh huh.
So the then they tried to say with the warrant that it was an emergency. Well, if it was such an emergency, then 2 months ago, when you knew, that it was such a big deal, why didn't or 4 months ago, why didn't you do it then? What were you waiting for?
Mm.
If it was such a national security issue, what were you people waiting for?
Well, maybe they was waiting to make sure that those papers was classified or not.
They still don't know that. They're still in the middle of not knowing that.
Our
So
government,
it's
man, our government sucks. All these fucking secrets. They just try to hide secrets and keep secrets hidden, and while at the same time trying to serve the people. And at the end of the day, I believe some of those lies will be uncovered. Somebody, it's always a little leak out there, huh?
oh yeah, they've been leaking. They've been leaking pay. I mean, they came out and said, it's funny that the Justice Department, won't say anything yet. They're leaking like a sinking ship. That all that stuff's coming out. But the one thing that's not leaking is, obviously the affidavit, which they were kind of surprised that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
of course we don't know how much of it's going to be redacted, you know. But again, to me, it's a very curious. How are you going to hide? I mean, you literally raided a douchebag, but you raided an ex-president of the United States of America, and you just set a precedence for do whatever the fuck you want. And now I'm curious to see if there's going to be any backlash. What we're actually going to find out, because this one's that's the thing about this. With Democrats in power, everything's being hidden. But if you
Right.
don't think that when a Republican, so if let's say the Republican takes the House or the Senate, oh, it's going to be on, because they're going to be like, nope, we're declassifying all of it. All this, we're gonna make all this shit, but then you're going to get that cycle. Republicans are going to do something while they're in power, and then Democrats are going to get into power and say, well, here's what they did.
It's a big old piss party. That's all that is.
It's going to turn into a big ass tattletale, which is fine
Shit
with me.
show.
Fuck it, I don't care. Let's do
A
it.
fucking shit show.
Yep,
As it
let's find out what
should.
the fuck you people are doing.
Yeah, I just think as we begin to elect younger people from younger generations into office, I believe some of those old lies and some of those old walls that separated people in power from the public, those walls are gonna come down. I mean, I just feel like there's some things that we need to know. Like, I need to know what the fuck is going on in Area 51 and Area 50. I need to know what's going on. I shouldn't have to be in the motherfucking Air Force or whatever to know what the fuck is back there in Roswell. I need to know. We got good tax dollars going there. I don't give a fuck if it's $1 a year. I need to know what's going on back there. And I wonder if they got satellite footage from above, or is that illegal too?
I've never looked at the Google Earth stuff, but I imagine it's fairly restricted, fairly blacked out.
I tell you what, if you really want to find out what's going on in Roswell, just put child support services on them. They'll find out. They will fucking find out. You hear me? I see Mafio's on. Mafio, I can't hear nothing he's saying if he's talking.
I can't hear. He's muted, it looks like. Well, but here's what's funny. I remember when we were searching for Osama bin Laden, and what was it? All you need to do is go somewhere and tell some woman.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah, tell her that her man is with Osama bin Laden cheating on her.
We'll find them then. Now
she will. Yeah.
Now that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Now that's hilarious. Yeah, Yeah, they'll find out if they want to now.
Yeah.
They'll find out if they want to. If they really, really want to know, you can find out.
Get you one of them Hispanic women that are like, your husband is with Osama bin Laden right now. All the chicas in the world are going to be burning that country to the ground until her man comes walking out that cave. I found Osama bin Laden. I know what y'all talking about. And my husband was not with him.
He wasn't with him.
But I found that motherfucker. Y'all want to know where he's at? Give me my $25 million.
Osama bin motherfucking Laden. Wow. He had us going there for a minute.
Yeah,
old brother Osama did. I'm not even sure if he was completely even guilty or innocent. We don't know. It was interesting. Now that we're talking about kind of mentioning Osama bin Laden, today I was reading I was reading a post about some of the interesting stories from the survivors of 9/11, and some of the people, not necessarily survivors, but things that kept them away from the building that actual day they were supposed to be in the building. Things like a dude said his car wouldn't start that morning. Another guy said he had a flat. Another lady said she was helping her daughter get ready for school and she was running late. Small stuff like that kept people from they were supposed to be at work that morning, but they didn't end up, they ended up not being there on time and ultimately missing, you know, the crashes of both flights that ran into the building. So uh, I guess it's just a reminder that, you know, small things do matter, and we shouldn't take everything so seriously, especially when we supposed to be in a rush to be somewhere and something holds us up. You're probably exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Maybe. But that's not
Maybe.
saying the people who were in the building that died that day was where they supposed to be at. I'm not saying that, but I just found that was pretty interesting, you know, to kind of hear that.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I mean, there's always, you had the Oklahoma, uh, that
The
bombing
bombing,
way back when.
it was
I,
terrible.
yeah, that's yeah, that's always it's always kind of crazy how that whole thing went down and what we did. I thought it was, when we were withdrawing from Afghanistan, it was comical, and it's not comical. It's saddening comical. But like, how did you not know? But talking about how, you know the Taliban viewed the withdrawal from or the military invasion in Afghanistan on a generation level.
Mm,
That's all they did. They just sat in a corner and waited for us to finally leave. And of course, they just had the 1 year deal where we withdrew, and now it's right back to where it was, pre us invading, which that means, women can't go to school, can't drive, the full, have to wear the full head to toe deal. And, they gave, I've said it last time we talked about this, they gave all those men those guns, and they had everything to gain from going back to the old way. You should have put
right.
the guns in the hands of those women. And I promise you, they most likely would have fucked some motherfuckers up before they gave that country up and gone back to wearing them deals and not going to school.
Well, you put guns in most women's hands, most of our ass be gone.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, I
morning,
never
gentlemen.
understood.
Good
I
morning,
never
brother.
understood why that wasn't done.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I just you thankful to be part of the United States, and then there's part of you that makes you not, make you not want to be here, And for some of us, we never really felt like we were welcome here. But, the United States has a funny way of doing things. They hide stuff, and we, conspire against each other, and hide secrets, and just to one up the next motherfucker next to you, and
And then talk shit about other countries.
yeah, and then
Oh,
talk
well,
shit
look what
about
they
other countries.
did. Look what China's doing. Look what this country's doing.
But
Motherfucker, you're doing the same thing. You're just more secret about it.
and then our justice system, the justice system that we have. I just had, and I'm gonna segue that into football, but I was just thinking about how we hand pat or hand slap those who have the serious crimes. You know, the murder charges. There's people in jail that got stay in jail longer for weed, weed and stuff, than somebody that has a track record of being violent. Like Talib's brother. It's like, how do you have a record that long of violence and you out free? I don't get that. I mean, but I know what it gotta be, because they want you back out there doing some more shit. It gotta be. It's
Or his
gotta be.
brother kept buying him out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. You can't get bought out of nothing that they don't want you to get, that they don't want you out of, though.
Shit. It's all about money.
All
Well,
about
Our
money.
justice system.
well,
I
yeah,
don't know
but
why
I'm
that
saying
bitch
the
is blind.
opportunity. But
I don't know why
right.
that bitch is blind.
That
She should
bitch
have
know
a
exactly.
deposit slip.
She know exactly what she doing, don't you?
That bitch looks like a fucking teller at the bank. Here, give me your money. That's what she fucking looks like. That's what she needs to be doing.
That's
Needs to
fucking
quit fucking
hilarious.
around. Got that balance sheet and the blindfold. You know that bitch is peeking out. What color are you? How much money you got?
The balance is the have and have-nots. That's all that is.
That is exactly what it is.
Or Walmart and the rest of it.
So wait a minute. So what's the deal with Deshaun Watson? 11 games?
Yeah, they added some more games onto him, man. I still don't get that shit. Like, if you're not guilty, we're talking about the jails are full. Yeah, we're talking about somebody who didn't get convicted of anything getting charged. I don't fucking get that. I'm sorry, I just don't. And it has nothing to do with this case in particular. It has everything to do with how we condemn people for doing things, and we don't have any fucking proof. It's just basically goes off face value. She said I touched him, or he said, he broke in my house, and they reported. You're automatically guilty in the eyes of the public, and that's bullshit. I don't know how you go to court and you still end up not without a charge, but you turn around and get charged in a civil case because somebody felt like you did it. You got to pay for that, and you got to stand up and apologize for something that he potentially did not do. I'm not saying he didn't or he did. That is an awfully high number of women with some allegations. But then again, I'm not the person to judge because my dick didn't popped out on motherfucker before, and I'm sorry.
Hey, yo, I
On the
have a
massage
question.
table, just
On
pop
the
right out. Pop right out.
Well, what do you think? Where do you think the franchise Jack in the Box came from? That started from a motherfucker that was on the massage table, and his dick popped out in somebody's mouth.
Woo! Damn,
Jack in
right,
the
Mafia,
Box.
what's your question?
Man, it's just so interesting, man, because, I've been listening and, tuning in, listening to my guys, while I was preparing myself to be ready for the audience. And so I had said to myself, y'all talking about America. If I had closed my eyes, I'd have swear y'all was talking about my high school. That's how petty this shit sound. You know what I'm saying? And just to transgress or fast forward to the Deshaun Watson, if y'all could help me understand, like you said, Vaughn.
Well,
So
go
he
back to
wasn't
your high school part. Help me
okay.
understand
Yeah,
how'd you have that relation.
because man, all this back and forth, he say, she say, the Democrats, Republicans remind me of the
Yeah.
game bangers. Everybody doing what they want to do and telling on somebody else when they doing the same thing. That's so high schoolish to me, man. You know what I mean? And these are the elected officials that run the country. Really,
Yes.
bro? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And you want me to allow you or surrender my governance to you and you act like this? Come on,
Yeah.
man. That's hard for me, man. That's hard for me. And Zach, I've shared this with you before, man. I've really lost faith in the American government, man. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't no personal shot. It's just how I feel, man. I can't allow myself to be governed by ignorance and by childishness, come on, man. So much unfairness. You know what I'm saying? We talk about
It is, but
justice.
I think
But you're governed by it every day.
yeah, but I mean, it's not like
Everything
we
we
can't.
do is
It's not
governed
like
by
we
it.
can't. It's not like we can outrun that. You just have
Right.
to
Well,
agree to
that's a
fight.
better way to say
You
it.
got to agree to disagree with the motherfucker. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It's not like they won't allow us to, survive outside of the system. So I always relate it to the Matrix, and you got to be able to pop in and out of that motherfucker.
The
Because once
Matrix.
yeah,
Mhm.
because
I get it.
if you pop too far fucking left, you start looking crazy to everybody.
Yeah.
Now, because 85% of the people of the population is uneducated on what's going on. They just
Mm-hmm.
go wherever the fucking crowd push them, and they don't give two shits about what's going on in the White House. They don't give a fuck about that as long as you're feeding them, and they got a decent job. They just go home and close the doors and close the blinders, the
Or you're
blinds on
giving
the
them
window.
enough free shit.
Are you giving them enough free shit? Pumping motherfuckers full of goddamn
PPP loans.
PPP loans. What's the other shit? Food stamps, which a lot of people that's on food stamps don't even fucking need them. But shit. As long as you're making people feel like they're getting over, or hey, I'm beating I'm in front of the curve, they're not gonna say nothing to fuck up their money that they're getting. They're not fucking up that $1,200 worth of goddamn groceries they're getting every month.
All right, so Vaughn, I'm glad you brought that up because everything you just said is exactly how I feel. Yes, Zach, I'm about to say this about the oligarchs.
Well,
Now,
what you waiting on?
Everybody want to shit on what you call it, welfare, but the oligarchs got the biggest welfare in the country when they got them it bailed out these automotive manufacturers and all that shit. They bailed out these banks. You know what I'm saying? That was the biggest welfare.
They bailed their ass out, didn't they?
That was the biggest welfare I've seen in my life, and that was cool.
And I agree 100%. But remember this: every penny got paid back.
I highly doubt that.
Paid back to who?
To who?
The government. They should have made them charge interest. They should have and make them break apart. But yes, they did. They did actually pay back the money. So,
okay.
I mean,
man,
I agree with you. I would have said, fuck it. You know, especially when it came to the banks. You know, why bail you out? Fuck them. I think we should have said, fuck them. Y'all put yourselves in this position. Go fuck yourself. We're gonna FDIC the money.
Let me bag my child.
They raised the money.
But what would we do without another Suburban?
Another Suburban? Okay.
Yeah. Or another Jeep Cherokee.
No, but what I'm saying, even if the banks had failed, they would have failed within their own capital money. They should have been wiped the fuck out.
Yeah.
All your profit margins, mine. You know, all your stuff, ours. Y'all fucked up and got yourselves in this spot. You know, you're gone. You're done. Because only one bank, or except for a few small ones, only one major bank actually failed. What was that? Lehman Brothers? I don't remember which one it was. But there was only one bank that actually went under.
What the fuck is Lehman Brothers?
That's an investment group, if I'm not mistaken.
But just like TD Ameritrade, although TD Ameritrade's an investment deal, it's still a bank as well.
Yeah,
only one of them. I imagine Vaughn there you Googleize what banks failed during
2000. Yeah, was it
2008? Yeah, 2008 crisis.
Yeah. Now, Zach, you say that they paid that money back, but the oligarchs didn't pay their personal capital gain from their incomes back throughout all that. They got bonuses and shit through that shit.
But you know, a lot of the banks didn't need the money, but the federal government came out and said, we can't give money to one without giving money to all of you. Because there were a couple of banks that didn't actually need to be bailed out, which is kind of fucking crazy that they had that much fucking cash and profit. But whatever.
Yeah, it's just the Lehman Brothers.
Yeah, Lehman Brothers was out of all the banks that fucking went under, Lehman Brothers went fucking under. Really?
That a bitch.
You fucking kidding me?
And
all you other motherfuckers created these crises, and they should have had to have gone through and paid for all the fucking houses that were sitting out there. No defaults, no nothing. You motherfuckers fucked this up. You allowed this to happen. You allowed these loans. You purchased these loans. You allowed these failures. Guess fucking what? Y'all are gonna clean it up. But that they weren't made to do.
So the main
in return, go ahead, Vaughn. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I've been talking all morning.
And they wasn't made to do that. And in return, they broke down so many communities, so many cities. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Used to be one of the most thrivingest cities. They took the Ford Motor Company out of there, and I promise you, I went around there in about 2005, and it looked like a ghost town. From what I hear, they building it up. But these are the things that's breaking down communities and societies. The damn oligarchs and these CEOs, bro, that's only thinking about capitalism. You know what I'm saying? The government bailing them out, giving them the biggest welfare checks in U.S. history, and that's cool. They ain't giving none back, like you said, to the community. They say, oh, yeah, we give $250 million. But hell, the president and CEO of these companies got them getting that much and more in they personal what they earned that year. So where's the loss?
Yeah, but you're no, and I think we agree on the one thing about the financial crisis in 2008, it was enabled by people, but it was actually people making bad decisions. Like, you really think you can afford this house and you're not paying attention to this paperwork that says in 5 years your payment goes from $1,000 to $5,000 a month, which that's just a balloon. I mean, people have been
Balloon
hearing
loan.
about balloon payments.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a good
they
old
were
arm
signing.
loan.
Yeah,
That's
they were
all.
fucking. Yeah, that army was slapping the dog shit out of them.
Yeah.
But that, it wasn't. It was a culture that was created that was enabled by these banks. The one thing I think once you recognize that, nobody's saying that it's 100% on the people. I'm gonna say it's 20% on the people, because I think most of the people who were doing that shit weren't reading. All you see is $1,000 a month. I ain't got no job. I ain't got shit. I have no real income, but I'm gonna get this $400,000 house, and I'm only
Well,
paying one. What's wrong with this fucking picture?
well, but the flip side of that is also you're giving people who wouldn't have that opportunity no time ever in their lifetime, a first time, one in a time opportunity to have something that they've always dreamed of. And who are we to
Well,
bust somebody's bubble? And
no,
you
but
know,
that's why I'm saying you give them 20%, and then the other 80% goes on the people who were giving them loans, B, the banks, all that other shit. And when it happened, the bank should have been forced to say, "Hey, guess what, motherfuckers? Y'all are gonna clean all it. We're not gonna be kicking people out of nobody's motherfucking houses. Y'all need to work this out, y'all." And they did have that, very, very, very small. They were allowing people to do that. But it should have been a wide sweeping thing. Y'all, Vaughn, your kid spills something, who cleans it up?
shit.
Depending on who the parent is, Zach.
Right. Depending on who the dad
But for
is.
you,
But we know
you're at your house. You're at your house, Vaughn. Your kid spills something. They clean it up. Clean up your own
Sometimes,
motherfucking mess.
yeah. When I'm not looking, there be crumbs when I get back. Like, who did this shit?
Yes.
Yeah, who did this shit? But the question is, what did they have to gain from basically putting people in those adjustable rate mortgages?
Hey, I want to make something. I would just want
They
some
got money.
clarification.
Well, they gain money.
Who have to gain?
No, they gain money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people that allow for that, like you saying, the banks had to bail themselves out, right? You would prefer to them have to bail themselves out rather than the government stepping in and having and saving them. I'm saying
no. I say they should have bailed the people out. All them motherfuckers they gave loans to, they should have bailed those people out.
Yeah, but I'm saying they went in and saved the banks instead, right?
Let me break this down in layman's term for you, Vaughn. So you take a drug dealer who infests the community with their...
No.
Can I finish
with the housing. No,
this is the housing.
I don't want to go.
Wait a minute, Zach. You gotta let him talk. Zach, you gotta let him talk. I want to hear what he.
Why we gotta talk? Because
Come on, Mafia. Shit,
it don't
Zach.
make no damn sense.
What don't make sense? I ain't get to finish.
He ain't get a chance to get it out. Come on.
Okay, again, so, and I'm metaphorically speaking, Zach. Walk with me for a minute, man.
Come
You know
on,
what I'm
man.
saying? But
come on,
all right,
let's go.
So you take a drug dealer that infests the community with his drugs or his product, and then the community is going down, and then the drug dealer turns to the government and says, the community is going down, they can't afford my product no more, bail me out. Metaphorically
Nothing
speaking.
would happen. It's not even close. Not even close. That's not actually what happened. It had absolutely nothing to do with that.
The banks,
what it was
banks
people
not have
buying
product.
houses. No. It was
Go
people
ahead.
buying houses they couldn't afford,
Banks
and there were
product.
real estate agents and other people, and then they were grouping them. And the biggest problem that happened was the betting that was going on the back end of that created all of this. And then that is what failed. They were betting. They were betting whether it was gonna keep moving forward or they literally created a market for betting. If you've never watched where Selena Gomez, whatever the fuck that movie is, where Selena Gomez explains what they were doing, it's actually pretty hilarious. It was people betting on whether the loans, and then people betting on the bettors, and then bettors betting on the bettors and the bettors. It was like a massive line of people Vegas style betting on whether something was going to. Same thing they do with shorting the stock. They were just doing it with the housing market. But the people that were buying the I still can't get this whole drug deal. It make no sense.
If the
Well,
banks
talk-
was the drug, the banks was the
Yeah,
drug
there you
dealers.
go.
They
You
had
gotta talk
products
street
which were
terms, baby.
look, the banks was the drug dealers. They had products which were home loans. They knew these people were putting them in bad situations, and all these real estate agents was the sellers of their products, like you said. And bro, listen, they put people. Why you think the unfair lending act had to come into play? Because they was putting people in situations they know they couldn't afford. They knew they couldn't afford that shit. And then on top of that, in certain communities, do I even have to say some of these communities? They were goddamn charging them more for the goddamn drugs than they were charging the other communities for the same drugs. Bro, if that ain't, come on, man, that's drug dealing at its best. But again, we dealing with America. And I say all the time, they just money laundering, embezzling all goddamn day and say it's capitalism.
And call it capital.
It's the economy. But let my
Yeah,
man
so
them over here
you
go
were
over here.
looking at that's the point of how they benefited either way. If the person kept the house, they were going to make all the money off the interest. If they lose the house, they basically got 5 years worth of payments, and then they got a house they could turn around and sell. Although one of the biggest problems that was happening was these people were basically trashing the houses before they'd leave them. And so that
Shit.
became
I
became
remember.
the
Now
biggest,
let me put
that's
that
the
in
biggest
context.
issue.
You have some
Drug
functioning
dealers
drug addicts.
powdering shit
Yes,
everywhere.
you have
I
some
don't.
functioning drug addicts, the one that was able to afford the home, that kept getting the drug dealer rich. And then you had the ones that just failed and lost their fucking family and everything went to shambles. Those are the ones that fucked the homes up. But at the same time, the drug dealer still got paid regardless. And then turn around to the damn
And got
government
his
and
money.
say, bail me out.
And got his money back.
And the home.
And the house. And got the house
product
back. But I tell you what, you got something called street justice because no, wait a minute, goddammit. Y'all
Go
gonna
ahead,
walk
I'm
with me
listening.
too. Because I remember back in 2007 and 2008, I was buying houses too, and I was walking through homes that people snatched out the intercom systems. I mean, they snatched out all that. It was like, you know what? You might have won the war, but we gonna win this battle.
Battle, man.
Yeah, we gonna win this battle. I got something I'm taking with me, and we gonna go up the street to the pawn shop with your shit. How about that?
Motherfuckers stripping out copper from the house. Take all the
Stripping out
copper.
A lot of them houses in Lake Ridge was built on that bullshit ass foundation. What's up, Tate? Yeah,
What's up, brother?
Yeah, we talking about $500,000 homes. We ain't talking about we talking about people that literally went from Bonton to Lake Ridge.
That's just called a bougie. A bougie bad drug addict.
A glamour. We call it a glamour. Or that's like going from the south side of Chicago to Highland Park, all in one whiff.
But at the same time, it's the same product.
Same product.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same drug.
But how do you tell somebody on the flip side of that? You couldn't tell me that a person that, might have grew up in a lower income area, here's an opportunity for me to move to motherfucking Lake Ridge in a 7,000 square foot house for $1,000. Come on, man. You mean to tell me that family wouldn't take that jump? Just to say,
they would, but that raises another question. Would you do it? I mean,
would you what?
Would you do it if you knew you were going to lose it? You didn't go out. I stuttered because I'm sitting here thinking, I can't imagine. That's like me going out. That's like, let's just say I know someone who can't afford a vehicle, but yet gets approved for a vehicle. But then the price of the vehicle's more than they should be able to afford.
But Muscle Mike said it the best. People were materialistic. Lower income people always are materialistic because they want to look rich.
It's
But
not
then
just
Always.
lower
they
income.
end up, but
Yeah.
lower income people end up staying that way because there's no way to get ahead. How can you get ahead if you're spending every penny you have?
Baby, but we can look good along the way. As long as we can put on them
But
J's.
save up. Save up.
That,
Save up for a down
but
payment
you got to
instead
think about
of
it. Look at
doing
who you're
that.
talking about, man. We talking about people who don't have any financial literacy. You're gonna tell me a person that my lights are off every other month, and here it is, I got some money, and the thing that I wish for my entire life, I have an opportunity to get it, and you telling me I ought to make a rational decision? Shit,
Well, you
no,
should
this
make a
could be-
rational decision, like instead of spending especially back then, instead of spending, two or $350 to $450,000 for a house, knowing that I can't afford that motherfucking house.
it's
Let me
fucked
go
up.
find a $250,000 house
I know it
that I
sounds
know I can afford.
I know it sounds fucked up, but look, here's a perfect example. The HBO had a series on that was called Broke. It was talking about NFL and sports athletes that have gone broke, and it shows you the link between. Um, it shows you that it proves through analysis that most athletes are lower income kids from low income communities, and you put millions of dollars in the hands of people who don't have any education as far as financial literacy is concerned. I think about myself. Okay, I ain't never had nothing in my whole life. At that point, when I got there, only thing I ever wanted was to have. You dream. You know how you stand out, you dream. Oh, that's gonna be my car, and that's what I want. That's what most of the guys are. And with your first check, you're gonna go buy something that you wanted. They went, and it damn sure wasn't investing it. They went straight to the car lot and I bought a damn Suburban. I ain't gonna lie to you. I went and bought that motherfucker. That's what I wanted, because that's what I felt like I had worked hard for, and I got it. No matter what position they put me in on the back end, I was riding clean.
But you paid cash. Would you pay cash for it?
Absolutely. But the fight between financial advisors and people who have really just basic common sense is that they want you to take out loans and build credit up, versus using all your capital up to make purchases. And that's the fight. It's just like watching Cadillac Records, and you got the difference between Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf. He had Muddy Waters had all the loans, and he owned none of his Cadillacs. But Howlin' Wolf had that old ass truck. He said, "This belonged to me, though. This mine's here, so I don't have any strings on me." And so you got people who don't understand the difference between having things free and clear versus always being caught in that rat race of a in a financial area. So, I'm thankful for those. Man, I hate Tate. I always remember, you just took that mentality in there. So you got to think that most people, you see him, man.
I see him. I see you, Tate. Hey, man, this is a great Friday, man. I thank the listeners and my co-host. I'm so enjoying myself right now.
But the only reason I brought that up is that you got to think these are the people that, with that mindset, those are the people that we put in this situation, and we brought this opportunity to say, hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where we're taking people who wouldn't normally have that opportunity to be in these type of homes. We're going to put you in an adjustable rate mortgage loan, not even knowing, like Zach said, we just signed the paper off, not knowing that this $1,000 is going to turn into $3,500 whenever it hit. And then the people got to fight back, man. When you outprice people and people don't have any way to make no money, the people going to fight back. You know what? You're going to give me that system about that house,
Hey, Vaughn,
They did fight back with the Fair Lending Act.
And the Fair Lending Act says what?
That if someone can't afford it, that you're really not supposed to give it to them. That was my interpretation. Really, bro?
That's
So-
common sense. If you
And now
can't
think
afford
about
it,
that.
just tell them no.
Yeah. So think about that. If the banks put themselves in situations,
Subprime.
you mean to tell me you're gonna bail them out? I never got bailed out. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I know it ain't about me. You know what I mean? But that's the world we live in. It's the world we live in. It's a system. And speaking about this world we live in, you know, I want to back up a little bit, man. You know, I've been thinking for a while now. You know, they talk about, you know,
What was that,
justice.
Jesse?
They talk about
Yep.
justice and they talk about blacks and things of that nature. You know, I like history. I like to study history. I pay attention to it. And so I saw this little documentary on Benjamin Franklin, right? And it was back when they were, you know, constructing all of the Constitution and all this around that time. And so he was a man of the Bible. He was pushing for blacks to be incorporated into this society. And the men who were writing this Constitution was so against it. It drove him so crazy. He moved over to the UK, you know what I'm saying? Because it was driving him crazy. He left his family and everything. I say all that to say, and this has just been my thoughts lately. As blacks, we're fighting for something that we was never even intended or made a part of, bro. Which is
Right.
this United States of America. You know what I mean? Now, you know, I know it's the laws and all this kind of stuff, but it's man-made, man. And that's what I was saying about governing. You know what I mean? Like, I follow the little laws and do what I have to do. But as far as, you know, governance, man, I maintain self-governance over myself. Like, I just treat human beings like human beings. When it comes down to politics, I can't bite that apple, man. And that's what made me, what I mentioned earlier about losing faith in American government, because they're not for everybody, in my opinion. And, you know, I pardon the sidebar, but that's just what I wanted to share with the people on what's been on my mind.
Yeah,
Like,
you do.
that's my
Yeah, you
rebuttal.
do have to govern
You see
yourself
what I'm saying?
accordingly. You do have to go and govern yourself accordingly, and you got the right to choose what you want to actually, you know, get yourself into or not. You know, to a certain extent. Jesse said, what did he say? It's kind of like making 60 a year and buying a $20,000 motorcycle. What's wrong with that? You can always go stay with Zach.
You can't live in a motorcycle.
You can always go stay.
Zach shakes his head.
Yeah, you can always go stay with Zach. Who said, "Oh yeah, Tate used to work for Countrywide. He's part of that problem." I remember that.
Oh,
was
Tate
living
was
his-
what? Tate
he
was one of
he
the real
worked- he
estate
worked-
agents.
Yeah, he worked for them. He was out here pumping our neighborhood full of those goddamn subprime arm loans. I'm sorry,
He was getting it in for Hefe.
getting it in.
For
Getting it in.
Hefe.
He
Yeah,
was one
Tate.
of those. He was one of those drug dealers you was talking about doing
Yeah.
the work for the man.
Yeah, getting it in for Hefe. It's the
was
same shit.
Oh, he said he was a loan processor. So you was out giggling, looking at this trash while it was happening.
Oh, okay. So he was processing the loan. He wasn't. Was you an underwriting, Tate? Because that's where the real filter is. Wait,
Government paid them and still got money from the borrowers.
all the time. The
Yeah,
products were still there. The houses were still there. You know
Man,
what I'm saying?
that's pimping 101.
Come on, man. If that's not drug dealing 101,
Now, if you want to compare it to Pimpin' 101,
And
I'll
getting
go
bonuses.
with that. But
And getting
all right,
bonus.
let's go to football.
let's go to football. Yeah, we got
So,
17,
On
Deshaun
16
Watson
minutes.
got 11 games.
Speaking of fucking, Deshaun Watson got fucked for another another 5 games for something he didn't get convicted of.
So
We
is
just
he?
did it.
So is he accepting it, or is he going to fight it?
Hell no, he gotta accept it. It's like you're gonna take this. That's what I was trying to get to. Sometimes, America throws you. You wait in line for your cup of coffee, and when you get to the front of the line, ain't nothing but hard dick and bubble gum there for you.
But I heard he could actually dispute it.
He
And then it would
can,
have
but
to go
why?
through a
Why
court
prolong? Why prolong that? It's easier to pay these motherfuckers off and keep it moving. I mean, it is. It really is. I mean, you're talking about he's not going to be 20-something, 25 years old forever. You know what I mean? So to continue to fight that suspension after suspension, you know, it's just like, man, he'll be 30 years old before that's over with, man. Who gives a fuck what people think about you at the end of the day? You know who you are at the end of the day. He got 200 or something fucking $1 million. Pay your $5 million fine. I don't give a fuck about how many boos you give me. You know, let me go ahead and get these 11 games out the way, man. And he still said yesterday that he still is keeping his stance on.
Yes.
He still says he's innocent.
And he
And
should.
yeah, he still says he's innocent, but there's something he basically said in so many words. But sometimes you gotta go and take that dick in the ass and keep
It's the
it moving.
system. So
Yeah,
tell
that's
me this.
that's
the
basically
system.
what he said. He said, yeah, that's basically what he said in a nutshell. He said, "Man, I'm innocent, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do."
And that's the high road to saying there's some bullshit, y'all. They fucking me, but I can't say nothing because I'm gonna get this chop. Yeah, I mean. But help me understand something. So just to back up, okay, so he went to court and was found not guilty.
He didn't go to court and get found not guilty.
Okay, yeah. So help me
The
understand.
grand jury, basically, my understanding is the grand jury declined to prosecute, which means there wasn't even enough fucking evidence, and grand juries don't even have to have that much evidence.
All right, and thank you for that. So after the grand jury came to their decision saying they didn't have a case, the NFL hired a person. The NFL hired a person. Was that correct? That gave them the first 6 games.
They hired a person that used to be in the court system, and I guess in the highest court system, to oversee that particular case, to oversee that particular case to help deal out a judgment at the end.
And then
that was hired by the NFL, right?
Is my question.
And I think it was hired by the NFL and the NFLPA.
Okay, so then that ruling was done. So how does the NBA the NFL comes back and put something on top of a ruling?
They didn't put it on top of it. They basically just said no, which that's kind of messed up. You say, hey, we're gonna take this person's opinion and we're gonna let them do the investigation, make them go through the investigation, make a decision, and then turn around and say, I don't like your decision. Instead of 5 or 6 games, we're gonna make it 5, 6 games. We're gonna make it 11 games.
I think it's all perception. They went through the whole process to make it look like, the NFL cares. Because I remember there was a time when, well, first of all, the NFL cares about women's participation in sports. As we should. They're part of the biggest. They probably more of them fans than men. As they should. And there was a time in the NFL where people could do things and get away with that. And people went and people that were victims of players and crimes that, people did that were attached to the NFL was swept up under the rug. And, people got away with stuff. And obviously some way worse than others. Kareem Hunt, what he did, he wasn't the first guy to slap the fuck out of a woman. He wasn't. He got caught on camera doing it. And these are not the first times some guys have did things like this. Like I'm saying.
Who's the one that got accused and then she admitted it was a lie on a phone call with him?
Shit. Was it Ray Rice? No,
Ray Rice knocked her out in the freaking elevator.
No question.
Oh, and after that, I smooth cold.
Yeah, that's undisputed.
Yeah,
it might have been your boy that played running back for Cleveland.
No. Yeah, it is. But he played for Kansas City, right?
Yeah. That's,
and then with
God damn it,
that's Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Yeah,
that's Kareem Hunt.
That's why when you said it, but he was the one that she accused.
You're thinking about Lamar Hunt.
No, he was big, and then he went to Cleveland. But he basically, it came out that he did all this. I thought his was like abuse against a child, and then come to find out in a phone call with her, she was like, "Well, I was just mad. I know you never did that." And it's like, what the fuck?
You see what I'm saying? It's bullshit like that, mumbo jumbo like that. that makes you
Okay.
want to kick the wussa out of motherfucker.
Now I have another clarification I like for you gentlemen and the audience to help me with. So this Deshaun Watson thing. Again, what's the difference between what him and Kraft did? They ain't publicized no big thing about Kraft.
Well, crap.
When he
Rob
had to
Kraft.
look,
Paid for a happy ending. They
He
was
did.
They wanted the They were offering him the happy ending.
oh, that's the difference. Okay.
And then he
I got you.
probably had, and then you gotta think, it ain't that much of a shock factor when a Vianna come from up on the cover.
Okay. So they said rub it on me, but Deshaun Watson said I'm rubbing it on you. That's the difference.
They found what happened to Kraft is he was at that was a Vice deal. He was paying for a happy ending. They were voluntarily giving him a happy ending.
Oh, okay.
What
so
they're saying to Deshaun Watson is he's laying there and she reaches out to grab his leg and he puts his dick in her hand.
That was his
You
leg.
know, that's
one of them. Oh, one of the
That's
three.
that's the
and
difference
she was
between.
not.
That's
they
probably
were
the
offering
difference.
happy ending.
That's what I was trying to say. That's probably the difference between him and Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft
is.
shit came out and he was like, "Oh, that's cute," and then the other motherfucker came out. She was
Oh,
like,
that's so cute. Yeah. Look,
But
it's so
remember,
cute.
the
Look,
place
it's
that
so-
Kraft did it
so cute.
was actually a happy ending place.
Oh,
That's
so
the difference.
So the difference is Deshaun Watson went in. He turned to the left door. And he's supposed to went to the right door that Kraft went to. That's what it was.
"Yeah."
He went to the
And
wrong
then-
Okay.
part.
He went to the
And
wrong.
then
Say no
Robert
more.
Kraft didn't have
Yeah.
24 agents after him either.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Hey,
That's a lot of goddamn victims at the end of the day.
thank you for the
Nobody-
clarification.
Nobody
Okay.
was after Kraft except for Vice Squad.
Well, we got-
He didn't have an accuser. He had Vice.
They were just like,
Prostitution.
they was like, yeah, he out here getting his wee wee blown away. Huh?
His fell under prostitution. Deshaun
Okay.
Watson's weren't prostitutes.
Sex trafficking and prostitution is totally different things. Well, they connected, but if a woman decides she wants to do that and make her money, let her do it.
And which
Those-
one is that? Prostitution, right?
Prostitution.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Hey, it's the
Although-
oldest profession in the world.
Although
Mhm.
some of them are forced, if you're forced into it, the shit's wrong. If somebody kidnapped you and brainwash you into do it, it's wrong. But other than that shit should be legal.
Hey, man, if you walk into a prostitute's room and she's chained to the wall, odds are she's a sex slave. Undo the fucking chain and let the girl call the cops.
right.
all right. So I have a question. So the dating scene, is that prostitution? Because all you're doing is paying to get a little bit. At
That's
the
why
end
you
of the
don't-
day.
I had to have a discussion with somebody the other day. He was like, he was talking about how he's spending all this money on dinner and shit like this. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You're dating these girls off Tinder or Bumble, or wherever the fuck you find them. Man, take them out, buy a coffee. Spend $5-10 on a drink or coffee or whatever the
depends
case may
on-
be. That way you're not sitting there fucking paying. If
It
a bitch
depends
says,
on
no,
that-
no, I'm hungry, say, all right, you call me when you done eating, bitch.
It
Yeah.
depends. It
I ain't buying
depends
you no
on.
more motherfucking
It
food.
depends on how your ability to kick some game, brother. Some of
Yeah.
us had to roll up with all the diamonds on and all that stuff to get a woman's attention. If you're not blessed with that mouthpiece, us ugly folk like me and Mafio, we had to talk you to death. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Hey, Vaughn, but I learned a very valuable tool through the process, right? And all
What's
it
that?
is saying, hey, baby, this is how I feel, man. What you think about this idea, man?
That's
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
Give 'em
Come
some
on,
input.
man. That's
Give 'em
all.
some input. It's and said in the great words of the great T Mac, even swap ain't no swindle.
Please
If I
explain.
Hey, I'm just saying, if he went and bought it, whether it's a cup of coffee, or whether it's $100, or whether you didn't took somebody to Eddie V's Prime or whatever you went, and you end up getting what you wanted in the back end, even swap ain't no swindle. You did what you had to do.
Or he got one of Tate's loans that he
All
closed.
you got, okay.
Same thing, right?
But see what we have out here. But see what we have out here now is we have people out here pushing up the price. You know what I'm saying? They pushing up the price on the houses now. They pushing up the price on the houses and they buying them and they paying it. So common folk like myself, you got to come in with a whole lot more now because they're getting it easy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they pushing up the ante, man. You know,
Hey.
the cups of coffee won't get it no more, Zach. Cups of coffee won't get it no more.
Hey, Vaughn, where I come from, they call them suckers.
Fucking cup of coffee. Yeah, suckers are the ones who go out and pay for a bitch's meal. I ain't paying for motherfuckers. I mean, I don't need to now anyway, but I finally got to a point. I ain't take you much. I'm sorry you broke ass can't afford to eat, but you tell me, well, I'm kind of hungry. Want to grab something to eat? No, bitch, call me when you're done eating. I'll buy you a fucking water. I'm not paying for no. It gets ridiculous. And I told him, I said, man, quit fucking buying these bitches all this food. Quit taking them out to dinner and to the show and all this other shit. Fucking take them out for an RC Cola and a moon pie.
Damn, Zach. Tell them how you really feel.
And there's too many of these bitches out here trying to get free meals. They broke or whatever. They just want a meal. Hey, let's go to this restaurant. Bitch, fuck you.
Hey, don't hate the game.
Fucking McDonald's. I'll take you to fucking McDonald's, 99-cent double cheeseburger meal.
Zach is part of the game, baby.
You say it's the oldest profession in human history, baby.
You know,
but that's fine. I was never looking for a hoe, so I'm good with that. If that's what you got, if that's all you got from me is I got to take you out. Then you just telling me I got to buy you a fucking meal in order to get some ass, which means you a hoe.
Yeah, muscle old school. Old school. He said,
Muscle Mike said, call him. He said, call him up. Call him up and let's go to the park.
There you go.
Hey, but look, read the rest of it. He
said, I got some old English in a joint.
Not the 8-ball, baby.
The 8-ball. God damn. Ooh.
Yes, sir.
And wear some ass out by the jungle gym. My goodness. Have you ever fucked outside of a park before? I just want to ask you guys that question.
Outside of the park or in the park?
No, at the park. Like outside. Okay.
Hey, Vaughn, can I answer that with an asterisk?
With an asterisk, yes. If the Kansas City Chiefs won with an asterisk.
Then I can answer yes to your question.
Wow. He said, take a blanket with you.
Hey, you don't need no blanket. Just take some dude wipes.
That fucking slide gets fucking squeaky.
Hey, Zach, you hear that one? You don't need blankets. Just get you a pack of dude wipes.
I don't know how that would work.
Hey, man, don't get nothing on you.
Can you put one dude wipe on each ass cheek or something?
No, man.
No, or on her knees? I don't understand. Where's the dude wipe come in?
He's using the dude wipes as more so as an after.
After, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he ain't talking about. Yeah, I think y'all talking about before. He was talking about after.
Yeah, I'm talking about after. I get creative.
Fuck the blanket. I'm gonna take a dude wipe. I'm sitting here trying to imagine. I guess I'd have to lay like 20 of them out to equal a fucking blanket.
Yeah, you get creative. You don't always have to lay down. You know, it's more than one way to skin a cat. And trust me, I had some China times when it come to skinning cats.
You put them on that old swing set, huh?
Hey, man, whatever happened.
It was like push and wait for them to come back.
Hey, Vaughn, it was like playing linebacker, baby. You get up at that line, once that ball hike, you got to make split-second decisions, baby.
Like right now.
Like right now. Yes, sir. In that order. Can't wait for nobody.
You guys are terrible.
He say we terrible.
You guys are terrible. Pimping and hoeing gonna always be. It's always gonna be here. It's ever prevalent here. If I could say anything I like about the United States, is that we ain't fucked up about motherfucker paying for no sex here.
Hey, and they the biggest pimps. They the biggest pimps in this country. They created it. They say what's gonna happen and how it's gonna go, and we just fall back and say, okay.
Boy, you need to quit, Tate. You need to quit. He said you can use them panties to clean up instead of dude wipe.
Oh wait.
That's cold-blooded.
Oh wait.
But that's nasty, boy.
Do you get him back to it? Do she take him home or do y'all leave him there though, Tate? Don't answer that.
Don't answer that.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Don't answer that. That's
it's Friday.
Yeah, that's some of them put them back on and go back to work.
Not back to work.
Or back wherever they came from.
Oh,
With the sticky icky on the inside.
you better throw that number away.
But throw that number away.
If you're wise.
Okay. Okay.
Hey man, it's
Man.
time to play the music, man. It's time to play
It
the music,
is.
Vaughn. We
You know,
done
I
had
ain't got
too much fun
We
today.
had way too much fun today.
I love it,
Way
man.
too much fun today, man. This is another wrapping up another week of People's Rebuttal.
Yes.
You know, any last words, Zach?
Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for joining us for another amazing episode of the People's Rebuttal Podcast, baby. Go ahead, Zach.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Straight to the point. No coffee.
Bye.
Coffee
Catch
only.
us every Tuesday and Friday, 9
There
o'clock,
it is.
Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. 9
In that
a.m.
order.
Tuesday and Fridays. We'll holler at y'all, baby.
Have a
Bye-bye,
great weekend, all.
bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.